on YouTube, social media world? It's your boy AnonymousBased, and I'm biggity back with a new reaction video. This time I'm here with something brand new from It's Complicated. But before we get into that, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and give this video a like, share with a couple of your friends. Make sure you follow me on all my social media sites. And if you got something specific, go ahead and drop it in that comment section. So, we are here with something brand new from It's Complicated. Shout out to you, big bro. And the name of this video is called What is a Man Part 2. Rules of modern dating and understanding women. Alright, let's go ahead and get into it, man. I'm ready for the craziness.
Is a man less of a man if he can't change a flat tire?
Yes.
Uh-oh.
So if a man is less of a man when he can't do certain things, what makes a woman less of a woman when she can't do certain things?
If she can't cook and clean.
No, you gotta know how to change a tire.
I mean, I feel like that's something every man should at least know how to do. It's pretty basic knowledge.
I don't know, but I would like to see a woman change a flat tire. I think a woman should know how to do that, so that way she doesn't have to call me and do it.
Uh-oh. Equality, baby!
When it comes to relationships, what does it mean when people say that men are supposed to lead?
In my opinion, men are supposed to lead by protecting and providing in every single relationship they're ever in.
I mean, I feel like men, they're supposed to be the supporters, they're supposed to be the guiders and the providers. They're supposed to, take the hand and support and, lead the way. That's us duty as men.
Does the word pursue mean to lead or to follow?
To lead.
When cops pursue a suspect, aren't they following the suspect?
Yeah.
Does the word pursue mean to lead or to follow?
Pursue mean to lead. Probably to follow.
There you go.
Pursue it.
I feel like pursue means to follow.
So how can men lead if they're the ones pursuing?
They're setting an example.
They gotta lead.
Nah, you not
pursuing.
Nah, you can't even answer
They pursue
that.
the woman they want, and once they get the woman that they want, they lead that woman to greatness and successfulness.
When you pursue a career, aren't you following your dreams?
Yes.
So then, doesn't pursue mean to follow and not to lead? So how can a man lead if they are the one pursuing?
I don't know. I mean, some guys like to follow women. They like to chase them.
But y'all don't respect that.
Manhood is more likely defined as a servitude to women than womanhood is defined as a servitude to men.
Well, I mean, we're made completely differently in the eyes of God. We each serve different purposes on this earth.
A man is supposed to keep their thoughts very low. It is frowned upon for a man to talk about their feelings.
Okay.
Other men will call them soft. Women will call them soft. And it's just, their job to keep it down quiet. And our job is to protect as a man.
When men are groomed to not express emotions, how are they expected to provide emotional support in a relationship?
Oh, you can't. There's no way you can't express emotion.
So why are there so many men telling other men to keep their emotions at bay, down low?
They shouldn't. No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't let it out.
Why are men turned off by so-called masculine women when conservative country girls are the most likely to weld steel and change tires?
See, I'm not, is the thing. If she has skills to be able to do stuff like that, that kind of turns
Hey, we ain't tripping.
My daughter learned that stuff, and so should every young lady, be well-rounded.
Yeah, I've never heard a man complain about that.
On the flip side, that men should learn more nurturing and, feminine qualities, just like women should learn more masculine qualities.
No, men should learn how to kill people.
Does a man have the right to define what a woman is?
No, not really. A woman can be an independent woman. They could be a dependent woman. A man can't change that. That's who they are, and we cannot change that whatsoever.
So then, what would give women the right to define what a real man is?
Gotcha, bitch.
It's hard.
You can't.
Because
you can't.
Men are all about women. That's our human nature. That's what we are. And if a woman says something about a man, 80% of the time, they'll be all about it and be like, oh yeah, totally. And they're not like that in the real world.
We're built completely different. There's some things that men are capable to do that women can't. There's some things women are capable to do that men can't.
Why are women no longer expected to be feminine virgins, cook, clean, serve their husbands, and pump out babies, yet men are still expected to be traditional, chivalrous men who risk their lives and pay all the bills?
Yeah. Right now, obviously, there's just a lot more equality, a lot more freedoms going around. So everything's just kind of like switching up. And I feel like they don't want that role, whereas we're okay being in our traditional roles. I don't know why, to be honest.
What does masculinity look like if you're not religious, traditional, or conservative?
No idea. I'm all three.
Masculinity, I feel like, is the same all the way around. You provide, you take care, you know, you do your thing. You don't ask for anything in return. You show up. I feel like that's the same all around.
If you go by the Bible, Eve was considered to be a helpmate, so if anyone was put here to serve, wouldn't it be women?
Yeah, I agree.
So why aren't they?
Dude, you got solid questions. Is the thing. Say that one more time.
If you go by the Bible, Eve was considered to be a helpmate, so if anyone was put here to serve, wouldn't it be women?
Yes.
So why aren't they?
Some women don't feel like doing it. Some women are lazy.
Women are more of like, yes, they're here to serve, but not necessarily for men's needs. We're all here to serve God.
Well, there's a difference between serving and providing.
What?
I feel like men we're providers. We're meant to provide to women and take care of them, and women, I feel like, are meant to, you know, serve the man and help the man do his duties.
Men work for whatever they have. They work for their house. They work for their cars. They work for their everything, and women expect that from a man, but don't want to give anything in return.
Oh! Where do you think that comes from?
I think it comes from them being spoiled.
Oh! Which of the following is worse? A girl who didn't have a father in her life, or a girl whose father spoiled her to become a princess?
No father.
Why?
Really?
Because girls need to be spoiled by their daddies.
Why?
Because it gives them a role model to look up to when they get into a relationship. They can look for a man to compare to.
Whoa, wait a minute. Wait a minute. That was a solid question. That was a solid question, because the way society operates, this is something that I could call out that us guys do. So us guys, we will point out how it's bad when a woman doesn't have a father in her life, but then at the same time, we'll complain about women being entitled and thinking they deserve everything. And then they'll come in and say, oh, well, my daddy spoils me, so then you're supposed to spoil me too. And us guys from the outside, we're looking at it like, nah, we ain't your dad. We ain't going to just come in just giving you a bunch of stuff. If that's what your dad chose to do, he set you up to get rejected, because when you go out here to this real world, the real world ain't going to do what your daddy did. So that's actually hurting you. But then at the same time, the girl that didn't have a father, she doesn't have any sort of guidance or structure. So she's getting shaped in a negative way by the world, whereas the girl that comes in spoiled, she's getting knocked back into reality by the world. So I think those are the two differences. Both situations or both dynamics, they impact women in a very extreme way. You see what I'm saying? And then us guys, we don't want to deal with a woman that's spoiled, because she's going to come to us with unrealistic expectations, but then we don't want to deal with a girl that never had a father, because it puts us in a difficult position where we can't even lead the relationship properly. So both of those dynamics are bad. That was a great question, man. That was a fire question, bro.
And if they don't have a daddy in their life to spoil them, there's nothing to compare to.
But aren't they going to expect their boyfriend to spoil them?
I just said that!
I wouldn't say
I just said that!
Right, but every young lady needs to be spoiled.
No!
Who spoiled them?
Their fathers before them, which everyone wants to spoil their kid, but it turns out it just ruins them in the end.
That's what I said!
Do men get joy and gratitude out of serving women, even if women don't reciprocate?
Yeah.
Isn't that the definition of a simp?
No.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
No.
Yes, it is.
I do get pleasure of, serving my woman, even though if I don't get anything back, it's the point of being chivalrous.
No. Bro, Stop the cap. Stop the cap. Because every single man that's in the friend zone or trying to buy his way into a woman's heart, deep down inside, he wants something in return. Deep down inside, that man wants a chance. He either wants to take her out on a date, he wants to be her boyfriend, he wants to sleep with her, he wants a kiss, he wants some sort of affection in exchange for all the stuff he's doing. So any guy that sits here and says, oh no, I'll do it regardless. Okay, take that logic and go to your job. You wouldn't show up to work at your job if you weren't getting paid for it. You wouldn't show up and be stuck in traffic to get to work if you weren't getting anything out of it. So with all due respect, bro, stop the cap, man.
Stop the cap.
Stop the cap, bro. Stop the cap.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
No, this man's capping.
Yes.
Isn't that the definition of a simp?
Thank you.
It depends on your term.
Thank you.
Definition.
If that's not a simp, how would you define one?
Actually, I wouldn't know what a simp would be.
Someone that'll do anything for that certain person. No, like they'll do anything to impress them.
Someone who just tries too hard, goes really over the top to try and get a woman to like them instead of just being themselves.
Thank you.
Simp is a very modernized term. It's not it's hard.
Oh,
That's
really?
hard. I think it's just made to make men seem less manly if they're good to their women. But personally, a man that respects his woman and that's a good man.
Would men still serve women if they knew they would never get that reciprocation?
Oh, he got saved by the ad, bro.
Yeah.
Why do you think so?
Well, they don't want to be alone for the rest of their life.
Do women get joy and gratitude out of serving men even if men don't reciprocate?
I don't think they do.
I feel like no, but also yes at the same time, because there's all kinds of different women in this world.
I can agree with that.
It just varies person to person. Everyone's got different personalities and different qualities.
Some women are independent. They won't want anything to do with their man, this and that, but a man will do anything that they can for that woman. So
then why do we consider women to be the more selfless and nurturing gender if men are the ones more willing to provide without reciprocation?
You know, that's a solid question, but the thing is, I view it as that's how it's been. Like, men have always been the ones that are providing, and that's, I feel like, how it should be the whole time.
I mean, women are they're more able for the emotional side of things, versus men are more there for a physical side of things to provide.
Do you believe it's a man's duty to respect a woman regardless of how she treats him?
Yeah.
Why do you think so?
I mean, it's just what we're taught to do, what we're told to do. It's just the right thing.
There's a difference between respecting someone and putting your foot down and not letting people walk all over you. I feel like, yes, us men, we should respect women regardless, even if they are being disrespectful. Just just smile, go on your way.
So how can a man respect women without losing respect in the process?
Just being kind, not dropping low, holding true to your morals. If someone's gonna do something, don't let it affect you.
Why should biology or religion dictate a man's role any more than a woman's role?
I don't know. The Bible talks about how the man is supposed to be the leader, or the whole biology thing. That's its own separate problem. But the religion part, God tells us to be the men of the house, the leaders.
Because the Bible said so? I guess you'd have to think the Bible is real history.
I think that has to do a lot with the Conservative Party, and the Conservative Party expects
you're fine as hell!
to uphold the normal Christian beliefs, even if they do not subscribe to that religion.
Why is it in a country of religious freedom are people's beliefs being pushed onto others?
Well, in a country of freedom, you can say a lot more, so I feel like if people have the liberty to push their ideology down someone else's throat, they're going to.
I think because the Conservative Party has a ingrained belief that their way of life is correct and what everybody else should subscribe to, and they refuse to hear point of views that differ from their own.
Why are women no longer expected to be feminine virgins cook, clean, serve their husbands, and pump out babies, yet men are still expected to be that traditional chivalrous man who risks his life and pays all the bills?
Because not all women want to. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't have an answer for that one.
I feel like that's how it's always been since the caveman times.
Well, then why have we changed everything where it concerns women, but men are still expected to play by the same old-fashioned gender roles?
Because women have a bigger voice than us. Since the 1800s, they've had that feminine voice. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but the voice of the woman to get their votes right, that's where it all started. I have nothing against that whatsoever, but that's how I think it goes.
You know, it's a different day and age we live in. You know, everything's different from what it used to. You know, that old school mentality just really isn't there anymore, and that's why you know, relations nowadays we really don't see a lot of them work out.
When it comes to relationships, men are expected to protect and provide. If men should protect because they're physically stronger, why can't women pay all the bills? Why are both duties assigned to the man when women are capable of at least being a provider?
Women are fully capable of doing that, and you know that ties into what you said with the old school stuff. You know, back then it was the woman stayed home, she cooked, she cleaned while the man went out and worked to provide the money. And you know, like I said, now it's different, but there's still, you know, certain expectations on stuff like that.
Why do men often think it's bad for women to contribute to the bills? Can most men support an entire household in today's economy?
No, they can't. Most men can't.
So why do you think that so many men think it's bad for women to contribute?
They think it's bad to contribute to the bills for the factor of most men think that they should still have the main role of like paying the bills, utilities, and stuff like that.
Wouldn't that be simping?
Yeah. I'm probably going to get canceled.
Why do you think that men aren't concerned about simping?
Because if they love a woman, they're going to chase her.
It's a lot about pride. A lot of guys don't want their wife or girlfriend or whoever you're living with, they don't want them to be paying it, so they want to be paying it.
What does masculinity look like if you're not religious, traditional, or conservative?
Someone who can be a supporter and a provider, someone who is capable. You know, I mean, a man who can't be a man and can't do things that men should do isn't a good man, you know?
Masculinity looks different to everybody, just like people of the same. Same religion see their religion differently, and people who are conservative see conservatism differently.
If conservatives view freedom in the highest regard, why do men have a duty attached to them in the first place?
Why do they have the responsibility? I guess it kind of just goes back to the Bible part. The Bible tells us to be the responsible one in the family. We're called to provide and protect.
That has actually baffled me since I was a small child. I don't know. I grew up in a conservative household, and the conservative belief that people are free to be themselves differs so strongly from their beliefs that men and women and providers or subservient people are expected to behave a certain way. That dichotomy has never made sense to me personally.
Oh, really?
I don't know how to answer that question, actually.
Because it states it in the Bible.
If being born with a penis puts all these qualifiers on men, would that mean that men are born into slavery?
Yes.
Slavery? No. Expectations from society? Absolutely. Being born with a male biology does imply some certain expectations upon young men. And I think that as a society, we need to shift away from that. We are championing that women don't have to be the subservient gender anymore. So I think...
Here we go. Here we go. You let them talk long enough and the real them comes out. This chick says she grew up in a conservative Christian household and she understands that the man's supposed to be the provider. But you just listen to what she said. Oh, you know, women nowadays, we don't have to be the subservient gender anymore. Translation, we don't gotta follow what the man says anymore. But the man, oh no, you still gotta do your part. But us, oh no, we can do what we want to do. I told y'all. Let them talk long enough, and then they're going to expose that they have that feminist mindset. But we gonna rewind it a little bit so we can run that back.
Beginning that women don't have to be the subservient gender anymore. So I think
There it
it's
is.
also important to do the flip side and champion that men don't have to be the emotionally regulated and financially responsible party of gender as well.
Nah.
If you got a dick, you're a dude. You're a man. If you know, that's just the way I look at it. You're born what you're born.
If being born with a penis puts all these qualifiers on a man, wouldn't that mean that men are kind of born into slavery?
In a way, yeah. It is hard being a man nowadays, for sure.
There you go.
With smart security and energy management, Vivint makes your home smarter, all in one place.
Thank you for your interest in conducting an admissions flight with ATP.
Rational cowboy.
Is a man less of a man if he can't change a flat tire?
Nah. Some guys, they pay some other guy to do that, and those guys seem to be doing better than the guys who have to change the tire.
Yeah, he got a point.
But there's a lot of people who think that a man is less of a man if he can't change a flat tire. If they think a man is less of a man if he can't do certain things, what would make a woman less of a woman if she can't do certain things?
I don't know, but I would like to see a woman change a flat tire. I think a woman should know how to do that, so that way she doesn't have to call a man and do it. But less of a woman.
Yeah, because no one says that to
I just
women.
don't really think in those terms.
When it comes to relationships, what does it mean when people say that men are supposed to lead?
Damn,
boy.
son, where'd you
It
find
means
this?
that they're afraid to let a woman lead, or it means that they don't want to make decisions on their own. But usually when a woman says that she wants a man to lead, as soon as he tries to, she's going to lead him anyway.
There it is.
Damn,
and
son,
then
where'd you
complain
find
if he,
this?
Reacts by not leading anymore. That's been my experience anyway.
Does the
There you
word
go.
pursue mean to lead or to follow?
That's different in every case. I mean, if you're pursuing a degree, then you're leading yourself, I guess.
That means you're chasing your
Everybody else when
dreams.
You're pursuing.
Or following
aren't
your
you
dreams.
Following your dreams if you're pursuing a degree?
You're chasing your
It
dream.
depends if that's your dream or somebody else's.
How can men lead if they are the ones pursuing?
How can men lead if they're the ones pursuing?
Damn,
Men are
son,
the
where'd you
pursuers of
find
women.
this?
Then how can they lead? That's a conundrum, isn't it?
Come on,
I
rational
don't know how to
cowboy.
answer that at all.
God damn! All right, next one. Does a man have the right to define what a woman is?
No. No, I
Okay.
don't think anybody has that right.
So then what
Okay.
gives women the right to define what a real man is?
I don't think they have that right, really. I mean, real
There
men.
you go.
Most people can't even define what a woman or a man is at this point anyway, so.
Yeah, exactly.
Why is manhood more likely defined as a servitude to women than womanhood is defined as a servitude to men?
Oh, well, I think that really depends on what circles you're in. You know, if you're in the manosphere, then you tend to think that a woman is your servant. Is supposed to be. If you're sometimes women are in the manosphere too. I've noticed.
Well, if you go by the Bible, Eve was considered to be a helpmate. So if anyone was put here to serve, wouldn't it be women?
Because the Bible said so. I guess you
Yeah.
got to think the Bible is real history.
Do men get joy and gratitude out of serving women, even if women don't reciprocate?
That depends on the man. Some men get gratitude out of having a woman step on his balls. I mean, it's I don't know.
Yeah, they be on some weird stuff.
People feel differently about different things.
Isn't that the definition of a simp?
Which one? What's the definition?
Serving women without reciprocation.
Is that the definition of a simp?
I mean, if that's
Damn,
not a
son,
simp, then
where'd
how
you
would
find
define one?
this?
Are you a simp if your mom is destitute and you help pay her bills? Does that make you a simp?
But you're not dating your mom.
I don't think so.
Would men
You're not
still
dating
serve
your
women
mom.
if they knew they would never get that reciprocation?
Oh man, goddamn! Some people actually, they do things for other people because they like doing things for other people.
Do women get joy and gratitude out of serving men, even if men don't reciprocate?
I mean, to talk about all women as one thing or all men as one thing is impossible. I mean, women.
Man, come on, bro.
Cut that out, you little bastard.
That.
Well, why would we consider women to be more selfless and nurturing if men are the ones willing to provide without reciprocation?
I don't consider any of that.
Well, I'm just saying, aren't men more likely to be chivalrous gentlemen who do that?
You know, a lot of chivalrous gentlemen. I don't really know that many chivalrous gentlemen at all. I mean, I know a lot of guys who are just burping and farting and hoping somebody still likes them.
Do you believe it's a man's duty to respect a woman regardless of how she treats him?
I think if we're going to go there and get into what a man's duty is, it's a man's duty to respect everybody from the outset until they do something that means you have to stop respecting them.
All right, I can agree with that.
Why should biology or religion dictate a man's role any more than a woman's role?
Well, that's something that we talk about a lot nowadays, huh? There are some things that men can't do that women can do. I mean, that's just a fact. You know, men can't breastfeed, and that's just something that's real. We could try, but it's not.
It ain't happening.
Fruitful.
Yeah, it ain't happening.
I think. You know, there's just no way that you can make me breastfeed. That's all there is to it. So there are some roles that we can't both play. But does that mean that a woman has to breastfeed? Well, we already established years ago that she doesn't have to, and some women can't, and it doesn't really matter. You know, what it comes down to a lot is a lot of women are not as strong as men physically, but you know, men are dealing with that all the time anyway. A lot of us are weaker than other men. Does that make us women? I mean, it's not really like that. People do what they're suited for. If you're suited for, you know, bending pipes, then you're suited for bending pipes. If you're suited for shuffling papers, you're suited for that. Hopefully you're finding your place in the world.
Why are women no longer expected to be feminine virgins, cook, clean, serve their husbands, and pump out babies, yet men are still expected to be that traditional chivalrous man who risks his life and pays all the bills?
Yep.
Man, I don't really know that many men who risk their lives. I haven't known any men who risk their lives besides firemen and policemen, you know, military guys. The rest of us like to think we'll risk our lives, but will we really? I mean, most of us have trouble putting our pants on in the morning. Most of us can't even see our penises past our big fat bellies. What are we going to risk our lives doing? Putting our pants on, probably. Going to have a heart attack doing it.
When it comes to relationships, men are expected to protect and provide. If men should protect because they're physically stronger, why can't women pay all the bills? Why are both duties assigned to the man when women are capable of at least being a provider?
Both duties aren't assigned to the man.
Yeah, they are.
Shoot, man, let me tell that to a UFC fighter. I mean, those women, they usually beat up their boyfriends if they had to. So if this, you know, shit goes down, they're gonna have to handle it, and they probably make more money than their husbands.
But they don't respect that dude. That's the thing.
Provide plenty. There's no provider in a relationship unless it's just decided on.
Why do men often think it's bad for a woman to contribute to the bills? Can most men support an entire household in today's economy?
Most people can't support an entire household in today's economy. I mean, it depends on where you live, but it's pretty much true across the country at this point. Men are men expected to pay the bills? Men.
Yes.
Are men do they actually feel bad if a woman contributes to it? I don't know that many men who just pay all the bills and don't expect women to contribute. It's too hard at this point, you know, especially if you want to have kids. Costs I think it's $250,000 to raise a kid up to 18. Last thing I knew, it's probably gone up since then.
Something like that.
And that was only a few
something
years
like
ago,
that.
but things have really changed. So I think everybody's got to contribute, man. A lot of times people are still letting their parents contribute when they're 40 years old.
Why do women often attack a man's masculinity when they don't get what they want?
Everybody attacks everybody when they don't get what they want. You always go for the thing that's going to make somebody feel the worst, right? So, you know, for somebody like me, I don't really care if they attack my masculinity, so that won't be where they attack me. They'll attack me somewhere else, wherever they know it hurts. People just do that. When people are feeling bad, they tend to draw you into it. and they do it however they can. Now, some people have what's called fragile masculinity, and so if they're getting told they're not a man and they're having their manhood threatened, they really
This
react.
dude kind of
they
sounded like
feel
a
bad.
simp.
I can't really relate.
What is the difference between a feminist defining a real man versus the masculinity movement defining a real man? Why does either one have the right to define manhood?
Wrap Lash Tubing Mascara, 24-hour mega length, lift, and volume. That's a wrap.
When it comes to ideas for your bath project, you have options.
Now keep
within
in mind how
options
he
at
answered the
Floor &
question
Decor.
earlier. I'm gonna rewind it a little bit. Now, I want you guys to keep in mind how earlier he was asked, do women get to do men get to define what a woman is? And he said no. And then he followed that up and said, okay, so do women get to define what a man is? And he said no. Now pay attention to this next question.
Really react. They really feel bad. I can't really relate.
What is the difference between a feminist defining a real man versus the masculinity movement defining a real man? Why does either one have the right to define manhood?
It's interesting. Well, feminists are really talking about what they want, right? They want a certain thing for women, and in order to get that thing, they believe men have to act a certain way based on what they're seeing on the regular. Men, for whatever reason, tend to pretend they have to be some sort of thing a lot of the time. But again, if you go up to what's a man really supposed to be, the protector, right? So there's always a guy bigger he can't protect somebody from. It just works that way. You can't necessarily always be the protector. You can't think that way. If you do, then the bigger guy comes along. If you really believe that all you're worth is how much money you have and how strong you are and all that, well, then why should your woman stay with you anyway? Shouldn't she just go for the next guy who has more money and who's bigger?
Isn't that what women often do when they monkey branch to the next guy?
Monkey branch. That's manosphere stuff.
But you just agree with it.
When women,
you just agree with it.
When women go to another man, a lot of the time they do it for one of two reasons. One is their man is just not really taking care of them, or they have fallen out of love with them, or they just have a sexual desire, man, and that's pretty natural. We all want to do that. All women don't have sexual desire for the biggest, strongest guy in the room. All women don't have sexual desire for the richest guy in the room. Some women are turned off by some of those things occasionally. Again, if that were the case, then everyone would be monkey branching. Your grandmother would have monkey branched off your grandfather to some other guy.
They kind of are, bro.
More money. Your mom would have done the same thing. Your sister would be
They
doing it right now.
They kind of are, bro.
Your wife would be home right now having sex with some big, huge dude with a big wad of cash. It's just not like that. People do things for all kinds of reasons. There is, what they call what is it called? Evolution. What's the word? Evolutionary psychology they talk about now, and they try to pretend like that's the whole reason anybody does anything, but it's just not. Humans can reason. We're different than animals. We have the reasoning thing thrown in with evolutionary psychology, so it changes.
We are animals,
Everybody doesn't always just go around going on to the biggest, baddest dude with the most money.
What does masculinity look like if you're not religious, traditional, or conservative?
Masculinity looks different to everybody, just like people of the same religion see their religion differently, and people who are conservative see conservatism differently.
How can a man respect women without losing respect in the process?
Losing respect from the woman?
Just losing respect for himself.
Because he respects women?
Well, I mean, how much can you respect a woman before it comes at an expense to your own self-worth?
That comes back to what I think a real man is supposed to be, which is somebody who respects people from the outset anyway. You can't worry about, I don't even worry about whether or not somebody else is going to respect me. I just go about my day. A man is not supposed to care what somebody else thinks about him too much. Just if they're mistreating you.
There you go, trying to define what a man
is. Go in
is.
the opposite direction. But you're not supposed to care whether or not somebody, I don't care if somebody respects me. It means absolutely nothing to me. I have my own self-respect.
All right. Okay, man. Shout out to It's Complicated for coming through with another fire video called What is a Man Part 2. Okay, so first impressions of me watching this one was really, really good. You got a nice mixture of men and women in here. And overall, it was great. dialogue, great discourse. But you came in with some really good questions. Really good questions on this one. And it really got people to think about the beliefs that they have. But then at the same time, when he's posing the questions, it really puts to the test what their beliefs are. And what ends up happening a lot of times is that they may start off believing one thing, but then a question will get posed to them from a perspective that they never thought about before. And then next thing you know, they realize that, you know what, maybe what I was thinking, it really isn't as solid as I thought it was. But then they're still, it puts them in a position to where they're open to the new perspective versus just rejecting it and then getting triggered by it. So I like conversations like this because I know I'm not the smartest man in the world, and I know I'm not the dumbest man in the world. I know I'm not right all the time, and I know I'm not wrong all the time either. You see what I'm saying? So any type of productive dialogue to where I can get my own perspectives and beliefs challenged to where I can kind of see it in a different light, I'm all for it. And I always say, man, you always got a place on this platform, Mr. It's Complicated. And that is pretty much my reaction, man. So if you like the video, go ahead and give this video a like. Share it with a couple of your friends. Make sure you follow me on all my social media sites. And if you got something specific, go ahead and drop it in that comment section, man. It's your boy AnonymousBased. Peace.